Happy Monday, everyone. I want to give you a few moments to jump on the live and say hi. If you'd like to, let me know you're on. Let me know you're watching. We are on day 48 of my newest book, 50 Days in His Pursuing Love Devotional, getting to know the one who loved you first and loves you most. I have been so enjoying taking you through this book. Good morning, Nancy. Thank you so much for joining the live today. I've really had a great time sharing New Covenant truth with you. As I've shared my devotional, I like to describe my devotional as Jesus Calling meets the naked gospel, because it's written in the style of Jesus Calling, as if Jesus is speaking directly to you, but it is saturated with New Covenant truth. There is no law grace mix in this book, in this devotional that I'm going to share from today. So, hi, Deborah. Thank you so much for joining the live. Deborah is my real life friend, flesh and bone friend here in Perryton, Texas. It's been a blessing to know her over the past 20 plus years. And so, anyway, thank you for getting on the live, Deborah. I appreciate you. So I am going to go ahead and get started with today's what I'm going to share with you. And the last 3 days we have been talking about how important it is to manage the thoughts that we experience. And not every thought that we experience comes from our new heart, but from the outside in. And if the thoughts we experience don't reflect the truth of our righteous identity in Christ, then our responsibility is to reject those thoughts as foreign trash coming into our minds from the outside in, and not even giving them the time of day, because they did not come from us. And so now we've talked about the fact that all lies originate with Satan. Satan is the original source of all lies. That's John 8:44. But our enemy is cunning. He dresses up these thoughts in particular ways where we have a hard time believing that they didn't come from us. How exactly does he do this? Well, that's what I'm going to share with you from today's devotion. And after I read it, I'm also going to elaborate on it. So this point, this such important truth, you will understand, because it means the difference in freedom and bondage when it comes to our thought lives. And so I am going to read Day 48. We only have 2 more days after this. Wednesday will be the last day, but if you've joined the other lives, you know that my plan is to start doing a regular Wednesday New Covenant teaching every Wednesday at noon. Probably won't last more than, I'm going to say, 10 to 20 minutes tops. And so, well, that's what I think right now, unless God shows me something different between now and then. But I'm going to read day 48, and if you will just put yourself in receiving mode and just receive these words from your beloved. My lovely bride, although Satan cannot touch you spiritually, he can greatly hinder your experience and expression of my cherishing love and exuberant life. That is, if you let him. The only real power he has over you is when he can get you to believe his lies. Deceiver is his name. Deception is his game. And if he can hoodwink you into owning the unrighteous thoughts he serves up to you, then he can control you. Satan's most effective strategy is to disguise his thoughts as your own in order to trap you into doing his will. If you allow these insidious imposters to set up camp in your mind, they can do untold amounts of damage in your life. So, how exactly does Satan dress up his sinister suggestions to trick you into believing that you generated them? He feeds them to you in first person singular pronouns. I, me, my, myself, and so on. Can you see how thoughts like, I am such a loser, God doesn't really love me, my past will always come back to haunt me, if this is going to get done right, I'm going to have to do it myself. Do you see how these thoughts could easily cause you to conclude that they came from you? If you could actually see that Satan was the source of these thoughts, you wouldn't even give them the time of day. But when you believe they originated with you, you will have a difficult time agreeing with me that you are pure, righteous, and holy. And your spoken words and actions will ultimately reflect what you believe. In short, you will become a pawn in your enemy's hands when you take his bait. Knowledge of your enemy's most effective strategy will motivate and empower you to take control of the atmosphere of your mind. So, the next time you hear a rogue thought in first person singular, refuse to accept it and replace it with the truth about you. The wonderful, beautiful, flawless, eternal truth about you. Thank you, Kathy. Kathy says, praying with you about the Bible study. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Good morning, Iris. It's great to have you on the live. Oh, hi. You have all been such a blessing to me, and praying for me while I do these. I'm always trusting Christ to speak new covenant truth through me as I share, and I know that I have the support from you guys too. So, or you guys and gals, and so thank you so much. Now, I first learned about how the enemy works in my thought life through Bill and Annabelle Gillum's ministry. Back then, it was called Lifetime Guarantee Ministries, but today it's called Lifetime Ministries, and the website is Lifetime Ministries, Lifetime Ministries. .org, or I think it's just lifetime.org. I'll put a link into it in the comments after the live is over, but I want to show you the books that God used to help me really understand how the enemy works in my thought life. And the first one that he used was Lifetime Guarantee. It says, making your Christian life work and what to do when it doesn't. And that was written by Bill Gillum, and the little quote here is from Charles Stanley, and so he endorsed this book. And anyway, this book right here has a complete explanation of how the enemy can work in our thought lives. And then he wrote a second book. This is quite a bit thicker. I tell you what God wishes Christians knew about Christianity. It might surprise you. This book, I love this book. I love both of the books. This is more in depth, but Bill just had such just a practical, down to earth way of teaching about our identity in Christ. And his sweet wife, Annabelle Gilliam, wrote The Confident Woman, where she shared very similar truth about how the enemy works and our identity in Christ. Notice it says knowing who you are in Christ. And both Bill and Annabelle are both of them are they passed away, and they're in the presence of our resurrected Lord. And I never had the blessing of meeting them in real life, but I am looking forward to hugging both their necks someday when I meet them in heaven, and as we live on the new earth together forever. And so I so appreciate the vital truths this special couple shared about my identity in Christ and how the enemy works in my thought life. And so now, before I learned these truths, I had a very difficult time believing that I was pure. Uh-oh. It says, sorry, we're having trouble playing this video.